These are creepy TikToks that will make you rethink your whole
Here's a messed
reality.
up fact about history I bet you didn't know. At a time where C-sections really weren't viable if you couldn't give birth a natural way, and they just really weren't a safe practice yet, two men decided to invent this monstrosity. That's right, the original chainsaw was invented for childbirth. Doctors would spin that little hand crank and they would literally saw into the pelvic bones of women to help them give birth. And this was actually seen as much safer than a C-section at the time.
It moved, yes it did. It did. How do you not see that?
I don't know. I've been face down in a ditch for 2 hours. I was trying to save your buddy, okay? I don't think there's much left I have to prove. Okay, if you could come back, that'd be nice. Okay, I don't know where this thing is or when it's gonna.
I'm back, it's your boy Fittie to the E, and today we're looking at this compilation together, so make sure to grab your water, your popcorn, your fruit snacks, whatever you want. Just remember to subscribe and like the video so it can get pushed to way more people. Your boy just hit 5,000 subs. Literally 2 months ago, I was just at 800, now I'm at 5K, that's crazy. Thank y'all again for showing me all the recent support. I love all of you that like, watch, even just cruise by my video. But it says that majority of you watching aren't subscribed. If you can subscribe, that would be amazing. See if I can get my goal of 10,000 subscribers right now. And if you're watching, might as well subscribe because this is gonna be a long series and I'm gonna make multiple different series. And honestly, just wanna stick around and enjoy the ride, honestly. But for this video, let's do a like goal of, you know, like 200. That's not too crazy.
Pictures humans were never meant to see, and you're about to find out why. So the pictures I'm about to show you are pictures of giants that got apparently leaked, and could be proof that giants actually existed. Up first is a picture of a giant standing next to a couple. At first glance, you're gonna think this photo is fake or completely AI. But many people who work at certain government-run museums have came out and said that you will be completely shocked by what's in there. They sign agreements saying they can't talk about anything that they see. Next is a photo of a giant just walking around in a field. Now, I can see why people would just assume this is fake right off the bat, but let's actually just think about it for a second. What if these photos are 100% real and giants existed? Many reporters have said these photos come from a country called Terrakina, and these giant-like creatures are actually our friends. And they were completely wiped out and erased from the history books.
Giants being real, those kind of look like this giant from this game called Skyrim. I don't know, man. The giant one is iffy, but at the end of the day, you gotta be open-minded. For all I know, giants could have been real and it just decided not to talk about them. I don't know.
Her granddaughter tried to warn her something evil was with them. A little girl was with her grandmother one day when she noticed something in the living room was watching them from across the dining room.
He's right in front of you?
Yep.
Who is it?
A guy.
Who's there, mister? What are you doing in that? Where's he at? Dining room?
Yeah.
Show me him. Go show me him. Give me your hand. Take me to him.
Yes.
Take me to him. Show me.
As the grandmother asked her to take her to the man, she points at him while keeping her distance.
Yeah.
What are you doing in our dining room, mister? What does he look like?
I bug.
He's got bug eyes?
Yeah.
The little girl describes seeing a man with bug-like eyes that the grandmother can't see.
What are you doing in our living room, mister? Get. You go back home. You go back wherever you came from. What's he doing? Come on, you're creeping me out. We're going upstairs.
Finally, the grandmother's had enough and leaves the area. Is it possible that the family was visited by the Lord of Flies himself, as described in historical drawings?
Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, I've been seeing a lot of videos where babies been seeing ghosts, so for all I know, it could have been him. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that they saw that creature? Put it down in the comments.
Do you know why the chainsaw was originally invented? Here's a messed up fact about history I bet you didn't know. At a time where C-sections really weren't viable if you couldn't give birth a natural way, and they just really weren't a safe practice yet, two men decided to invent this monstrosity. That's right, the original chainsaw was invented for childbirth. Doctors would spin that little hand crank and they would literally saw into the pelvic bones of women to help them give birth. And this was actually seen as much safer than a C-section at the time. For all my female followers, I'm just gonna let that one sink in. That is a huge no for me. And chainsaws weren't even used for wood cutting until 100 years later. Not in 1,000 years.
Oh no! Bro, I'm a guy and I'm looking at that like, nah, I'm good. If you're a lady watching this, what do you think about that? Like, what?
An uninvited visitor. A sweet, suffocating odor. Victims left paralyzed. This was the terror that unfolded in Mattoon, Illinois in the summer of 1944. The midnight horror began on August 31st. Urban Rafe, roused from his sleep by a peculiar odor, found himself weakening, the world spinning. His wife attempted to investigate, suspecting natural gas poisoning, but she too found herself immobilized, paralyzed in her own bed. Just a stone's throw away, the very next day, a young mother was awakened by her daughter's coughing. She tried to rush to her child, but she too was locked in paralysis. With a dozen more attacks, all marked by the strange, sweet odor and ensuing paralysis, the town was rattled. While robbery was a plausible explanation, no evidence of forced entry or permanent harm was found. The string of attacks drew FBI attention, resulting in detailed investigation with local police. As abruptly as the attacks started, they stopped, leaving police baffled. They were unable to determine the chemical used, identify a suspect, or determine a motive. To this day, the mystery of the Mad Gasser of Mattoon remains unsolved.
That just kind of unlocked a hidden fear, because I was really thinking about it. I was like, bro, imagine like you're just chilling, sleeping and shit, just woke up early morning, 6 a.m. And then next thing you know, just some motherfucker gassed you? Yo, he must have really hated you to do that, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Like you were his arch nemesis, bro.
We're gonna talk about a forgotten horror movie today because I'm appalled. I never see anyone find this movie for the first time and make a review. I never see anyone recommend it. I never see it talked about. And I did not even remember the name of this movie. I remembered a specific scene, Googled it, and the name popped up, and I was like, I don't remember it being called that. But we're gonna talk about it because no one else does. And we're talking about the 2017 film, The Hatred. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I don't remember that movie at all. Nothing of that looks familiar. Let me set the scene of that scene. You're in a movie theater about to watch whatever came out in 2017, or you're at home just flipping through your TV and a commercial comes on. A woman walks into a little girl's room. The little girl's on the bed and she's like, I need you to check under my bed, something is wrong. So the woman does, and the little girl's under the bed going, that's not me. That's this movie. That was this movie. I don't know why that is the only scene that I can remember from this movie, but I'm gonna go rewatch it and I'm gonna stitch this and tell you if it lives up to the hype that it has in my head. But I Googled it to read you guys the actual description of it, and 11%. I can't vouch for the rest of the movie, I literally don't remember, but that scene alone deserves a crisp, 60.
Yeah, she just full on explained that scene, but I'm still highly confused at what that movie is. I don't know. If you've seen it, put it down in the comments. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Scary Videos Part 6. A man is watching a commercial when something seems to be watching him.
Why is this on the TV?
Oh.
Keep watching. Pay attention. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Before we get to the next one, can you hit that heart button? I'll do part 7 if we get to 50,000 hearts. What pushed this baby?
Damn.
Would you rather travel to the past or the future, and why? I'm never going swimming after this.
Honestly, I don't know why bro jumped off of that like that, and I don't know what risk he was taking, but he took a risk because now he might be in the grave. But hey, we have footage, so I don't think he's in the grave. But I'm not gonna lie, whatever pushed that baby in that one clip, that it definitely had it out for that child. I'm not gonna lie.
Doctors working midnight shift get horrified after they capture the unexpected on the abandoned floor.
Lights are. Go in. Go in. Figure out where the lights are. I don't like that. I don't like that. Do it. They look like evil eyes. You guys think I'm with me? Yeah, of course we're gonna go with you. Thanks. Feels great.
The curtain moved. It moved. Yes, it did. It did. How do you not see that?
Honestly, I don't blame him. I'd have ran too. But the real question is, why are you snooping around in the hospital like you don't work there? That's really how you get fired. You see him and the nurse just like, oh shoot, it's spook in this hospital. Come on, bro. You know that's how you get fired.
Creepiest thing about you, according to your zodiac sign. If you are an Aries, you are obsessed with death. It turns out that aside from being one of the 4 zodiac signs related to birth, Aries is also one of the 3 death signs. Damn. Aries represents death through fire. So Aries, if you spend a lot of time thinking about your demise, the deaths of others, or the death of a planet, know that this is completely normal for you. The good news that the underlying meaning of death by fire in Aries is ultimately a sign of purification. If you can't stop thinking about death, perhaps it's time to seek out some purifying practices like yoga and meditation.
That one was kind of weird. If you're an Aries, do you think about that all the time? But let me know down in the comments if you're an Aries.
This video gives me the chills. Watch the video and then let me know if you think this guy's apartment is haunted.
The craziest shit I've seen so far. I was taking the trash out with my son and he kept pointing at the mirror and waving and I didn't know why. So I pulled the camera out and I can't believe I caught this. That's Rowan.
Like, did anyone else see that skull thing or like another child in the mirror? I don't know what.
I saw that instantly. As soon as he did, I was like, whoa, what is that? Nah, that was creepy. Not gonna lie.
What is the scariest thing that could happen while camping? Well, this one guy who was camping in Florida had a horrifying encounter. And before we get into it, I have a podcast episode of 2 of the scariest camping stories I've ever heard if you're interested. So years ago, a guy and his friend were camping in Florida when they came upon this old man's campground. It was in disarray, so they kind of got a bad feeling from it and they turned to leave. But then the guy comes out of the campsite and is like, oh, hey, he wants to talk to them. He starts engaging them. He's giving them suggestions of where to go in the woods, but he's telling them where to go in steps, not in miles or yards. So he's like, oh, the waterfall is 300 steps from here. And one of the guys thinks that's weird because that's really not common in the area to describe where to go. A few months pass and they basically just forget about this interaction, but one day one of the guys calls the other guy and is like, dude, you have to turn on the TV right now. And all over the news are pictures of this guy, the guy they saw, Gary Michael Hilton, who is a serial killer who preyed upon young women in national parks, kidnapping them and taking their lives. Some of the places he told the boys to go look at were places he had hid bodies.
Yo, those people that he told to take 800 steps, those were so lucky people. He could have done the same thing to them. I'm not gonna lie. Saying to someone, yeah, if you just take 800 steps that way, I feel like it's low-key a little bit more accurate than 2 miles down the road, 10 miles down. You don't know how far 10 miles is.
Creepy TikToks that will keep you awake at night.
So I'm babysitting, right? And it's 10:30 at night now. I've already put the kids in bed and I hear laughing. I started to get a little mad because this was the 3rd time I told them they needed to be in bed since they have school in the morning. The thing is, the noises were coming from the baby's room. I thought maybe they woke up to check on their sister. So then I decided to check the baby monitor. Please tell me what's in the top left corner.
I don't know. I've been face down in a ditch for 2 hours. I was trying to save your buddy, okay? I don't think there's much left I have to prove. Okay, well, if you could come back, that'd be nice. Okay, I don't know where this thing is or when it's gonna.
Oh! If I'm with one of the homies and something like that happened, bro, best believe I'm bringing out the blick, bro. We going in there, all right, bro, we're gonna hunt for homie. We're gonna go in there like we're special agents, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have like the AR over the shoulder, just like, okay, 10-4, we got him over here. Save the homie, come back like, yeah! I knew she was looking kind of creepy, bro. She was looking devilish. I would be scared of her. Oh my.
5 horror movies that were banned in different countries for whatever reason. Some valid, some kind of, I don't know. The Human Centipede 2 was banned in Australia. The reason for the ban was that it was just too inappropriate. that's pretty much it. 1978's I Spit on Your Grave was banned in Australia, Germany, Iceland, and Canada. Now, while others see this movie as a sign of justice, other countries was like, yeah, fuck that. don't bring that over here. The Hunger from 1983 was banned in Chile or however you pronounce that country. My bad. Because the movie involved the dark arts and the consumption of blood, the country said, no. Don't bring that over here. Hostel Part 2 was banned in Germany. By the way, Germany has the longest list of banned horror movies, which is crazy because Germany doesn't have that clean of a history, so I guess they try to clean it up through the horror movies that they get rid of. They deemed that Hostel Part 2 was just way too disturbing. More specifically, the director's cut that just showed everything. And lastly, probably the most hilarious ban on this list is World War Z that got banned in China. And the reason is something that you'll never expect. So in 1997, Brad Pitt was in a movie called 7 Years in Tibet. And in the movie, it featured Chinese soldiers being depicted as evil villains. Not liking how the soldiers were portrayed in the movie, the Chinese government saw Brad Pitt making another movie and said, yeah, fuck that guy. Everybody involved with 7 Years in Tibet pretty much got the middle finger when it came down to any other movies going to China. In 2013, when World War Z came out, China said, no. Don't bring that over here. And there y'all go, man. 5 horror movies that got banned in other countries.
That's hilarious. World War Z, that wasn't even like too crazy. I mean, there's zombies in it, but yeah, it's like what he said. They just banned it because Brad Pitt made them look like evil soldiers, I guess. My boy in a war with the werewolf. Oh my gosh. Oh, he coming.
Let's talk about one of the scariest sounds ever posted. The Siberian Hellhole. Now this sound went viral because of how terrifying it sounds, and I'm gonna show it to you, so Now the story seems to have been started by these guys, Christianity Today. It was on a July 16th, 1990 article of theirs. But the story goes that apparently a hole was drilled in Russia, and it was so deep that it reached hell. Hence the Siberian Hellhole. And I'm pretty sure that's not a picture of it. Now the question is there a creepypasta inspired by a Christianity Today 1990 article? Or is this really what hell sounds? Either way, it's really scary and I'm gonna show it to you. Here it is.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing.
I'm kind of terrified, so be careful. Yeah, I can see why they say that's a hole to hell. It sound like a bunch of people screaming, bro. That's why you should repent and trust in God.
Ding. A boat went missing in rough seas off the coast of Hawaii and was found years later, half an ocean away. In 1979, 27-year-old Robert Malayakan and 4 friends from East Maui went fishing in a small boat called Sarah Joe. As the day progressed, rough seas, stirred by gale force winds, overwhelmed them. Despite the Coast Guard's extensive search among 40-foot waves, the Sarah Joe remained missing, prompting a community mourning. 10 years later, marine biologist John Naughton discovered the remains of the Sarah Joe on the shoreline of the Marshall Islands. A member of the initial search party, he was shocked to find the wreckage over 2,200 miles away from its last known location. Near the wreckage, he found a crude grave containing the remains of John Mormon, one of the lost friends. The grave was marked with a driftwood cross, stones, and foil interleaved paper. The fate of the remaining 4 men and the creator of John Mormon's grave remain a mystery. The recovered Sarah Joe now rests in Robert's brother's driveway in Maui, a reminder of that fateful trip. How did the boat and John Mormon end up 2,200 miles away? Who buried him? What happened to the other 4 men?
Nah, that's crazy. Honestly, bro, I have no clue how it happened, but it happened, so let me know your thoughts down in the comments.
And we know you've been disrespecting your mother.
How's that?
What did he say? Thomas, if you don't stop misbehaving, we're gonna take your mom away and leave you here.
He said, Thomas, if you don't stop misbehaving. Bro, Thomas just full on and they're talking, if you don't behave, we're gonna take.
There are 50 women on death row in the United States, and this is one of their stories.
Donna Roberts was found guilty of convincing one of her lovers to murder her husband. Donna Roberts was married to Robert Fingerhut, and she ran the restaurant that was inside the bus station that he ran. Donna used this restaurant to find simps to sleep with. She regularly hit on the patrons and even the employees. She said she and Robert had an open relationship, but she's the only one here to verify that. On December 11th, 2001, 911 received a frantic call from Donna. She'd come home to find her husband's body on the kitchen floor. He'd been shot several times and his Chrysler was missing, but that was the only valuable missing from the house. So police knew it wasn't a robbery. Donna said that a man named Santiago had likely taken Robert out after meeting him at the bus station. Police tracked this man down and he admitted to having an affair with Donna, but said she became super toxic. Several days before her husband's death, Donna tracked Santiago down at his workplace and yelled at him in front of his boss, accusing him of stealing from her. It came to light that Donna had several lovers, and hundreds of letters from a former inmate of the local jail, and he'd gotten released right before Robert's death. This man was named Nate Johnson, and he was in love with the older woman. They were seeing each other, but switched to letters and phone calls after he had to serve a stint at the local jail. And the duo would talk a lot about taking care of a package. So obviously her husband. Donna invited Nate to her house and also bought him the used to shoot her husband. The police then stormed on his house in the middle of the night, and her son said it was, quote, like she was Saddam Hussein. Donna Roberts and Nate Jackson were both tried and given the death penalty. And Donna had actually asked for the death penalty because then she could be on death row and be away from all the other inmates and have an entire area to herself. Donna is currently the only female inmate on death row in Ohio. But as of 2020, all executions are on pause. I don't know if that means her plan failed and she's back in the regular prison with all the other inmates, or if her execution will ever get carried out before she dies of some other related thing.
Bro, you just got out of prison just to go right back? Are you dumb? And the fact that she also asked to be put on death row is also a little bit questioning, but to each their own.
Did this woman chop her husband up and dump him in a suitcase? Melanie McGuire married Bill in 1999. They had 2 sons together, and from the outside it looked like they had a really good relationship. However, behind closed doors, things were not good. Melanie claimed that Bill had a gambling problem and a temper. One night in 2004, Melanie claims that Bill pushed her against a wall in an argument and hit her. She then stated that he tried to choke her. The next day, Bill was missing. Melanie contacted a divorce attorney and also filed for a restraining order. On May the 5th, 2004, some fishermen discovered a suitcase in Chesapeake Bay. Inside, they made a horrific discovery. Inside was a man's dismembered legs. Over the next week or 2, more suitcases were found. These contained a torso, a head, thighs, and a pelvis. It was found that the person had been shot to death. When the man was identified as Bill McGuire, Melanie said that she burst into tears. Interestingly, police found that Melanie had bought a gun 2 days before Bill's disappearance. They also found out she was having an affair. Police then discovered Bill's vehicle in Atlantic City. Melanie claims that she'd moved the vehicle as a prank. She said that he was out at a casino and she was sick of him gambling, so she moved the car. However, police found on Melanie's computer that she'd Googled how to purchase guns illegally. She also searched how to commit murder and undetectable poisons. Rubbish bags in her house also matched the rubbish bags that Bill was wrapped in. Melanie was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison, but she maintained she was not the killer. She suggested that her husband may have been killed over gambling debts. She claims that Bill had told her to buy a gun to protect herself.
Okay, that's cool, but like, are we not going to talk about how you try to search up how to buy guns illegally? How to get away with poisoning someone undetectably? Like, these all kind of lead up into creating a case against you, so I guess she's a little bit slow or something.
This woman died 11 days after getting married.
Killer.
Some people think it was an accident, others think it was murder. Have you ever heard of Tina Watson? Tina and Gabe got married on October 11th of 2003. Shortly before their wedding, Gabe took out a life insurance policy on Tina that was the company's max amount.
Damn.
And he was the beneficiary. After they got married in Alabama, Gabe and Tina decided to go honeymoon in Australia, and while they were there, they were planning on diving. Gabe was an experienced diver. He was a rescue diver, so this was not something that he was nervous to do. Tina had dived a couple of times, but only in pools and never in open water. On October 22nd of 2003, Gabe and Tina had planned to dive down to the shipwreck SS Yolanda. This was a steamer that sank all the way back in 1911, and it was a pretty popular dive, but it was also recommended for only experienced divers to go on this. Gabe said that he and Yolanda had planned to go down on one line and kind of skim across the top of the shipwreck and then grab another anchor line and go back to the surface. But as soon as they were in the water, the current overtook them and things got very difficult very quickly. Gabe said that Tina had motion saying that she wanted to go back to the surface. Gabe and Tina were both trying to swim back to where they had come from, but because of the current, they weren't able to make much progress. That's when Gabe motioned Tina to fill up her buoyancy compensator, and this was supposed to make her go back up to the surface. Gabe says that nothing happened with the inflator hose, and that's when he grabbed Tina and started making his way back to the anchor rope. Gabe says that then he all of a sudden felt a whack across his face and his mask came undone. He said that Tina had accidentally hit him in the face, and this is why his mask had come undone, and by the time he was finally able to readjust and get everything back to where it was, he looked down and Tina was 10 feet below him. Gabe said that she was sinking with her arms up like she was trying to reach for him. Gabe did say that he tried to reach for Tina, but soon realized he would not be able to, so that's when he swam back up to the surface to try to get some help. Dive instructors then jumped in to get Tina, and then when they brought her back, they tried to resuscitate her for 45 minutes, but she was sadly gone. At first, it looked like a tragic accident, and the medical examiner would determine that this was an accidental drowning caused by an air embolism. But it wasn't until police started talking to Gabe that they grew pretty suspicious because he was acting suspicious. We'll go into everything in part 2, and that'll be up as soon as I'm done filming, so just give me a couple of minutes. Here is part 2 to the case of Tina Watson. When investigators started looking into Gabe, they realized some strange things. Like while they were attempting to resuscitate Tina, Gabe was in another boat and he didn't seem frantic to get back to Tina at all. During the first part of the dive, Gabe said that his watch had malfunctioned. He and Tina had to resurface in order to fix Gabe's watch. He said that the battery was inserted wrong, so it wasn't working. Gabe did not want people to look at this watch, and when investigators were finally able to, they were able to find that this watch had never malfunctioned. The battery was never put in wrong. So police assume that Gabe was just trying to find a way to separate himself and Tina from the group. They also hired a diver that was the same height and weight as Tina to sink to the bottom like Tina would have in the same location that Gabe said this happened. Every time this diver sunk to the bottom, she landed on the SS Yolanga's deck. And in this photo, you can see Tina at the bottom of the ocean floor. She is nowhere near the deck of the SS Yolanga. Other divers also claimed to see Tina and Gabe in what they called a bear hug. Investigators believe that Gabe was holding Tina and turning off her oxygen until she had passed, and then he made a leisurely swim back up to the surface. It took him almost 2 minutes to resurface. On top of that, other divers say that when a diver is sinking, you will never see them looking up at the sky with their arms up. You will see them flailing, trying to fix their equipment. Gabe was charged in Australia, and there he pleaded guilty to manslaughter. A judge sentenced him to 4 years, and he spent 18 months in prison there. When he was released, he came back and remarried, but he was also charged in the United States because they thought they had jurisdiction since he planted in Alabama. But he was acquitted of all charges in Alabama. Tina's father said that her grave was often vandalized with people taking the flowers that they left for her. It even got to the point where they had to chain the flowers that they bought for Tina to her grave. Surveillance footage would show later that Gabe was the one taking the flowers from Tina's grave. So here's my question. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think Gabe's guilty? Personally, I do. But let me know your
My thoughts on that is that Gabe is a weirdo. Straight up. Yo, he really planned it out so perfectly. You would have thought it was real, because I was like, yo, she really got clapped like that. But nah, it was just him. And then he still got caught.
Hey y'all, let's talk about 3 ghost towns in America. Number 1, Centralia, Pennsylvania. In Columbia County, Pennsylvania, lies a town called Centralia. In 1962, a fire occurred inside of a coal mine. The government spent millions of dollars to get rid of the fire, but each attempt failed. Over 60 years later, the underground coal mine still burns to this day. What was once a population of over 2,000 is now a population of 4. Few buildings remain, and the streets of Centralia are damaged with graffiti and potholes. In fact, this town inspired the horror movie, Silent Hill. Number 2, Cataloochee Valley, North Carolina. In the Great Smoky Mountains area of North Carolina is a ghost town called Cataloochee. In the 20th century, the residents were forced to move because the plan was to turn the area into a national park. What was once a population of over 1,000 is now a population of 0. Although no one lives here, many people still go here to go hiking and to just enjoy its beautiful mountains and wildlife. Last but not least, number 3, St. Elmo, Colorado. St. Elmo, Colorado is a ghost town known for its paranormal activity. There, in the 1910s, the mining industry declined, and in 1958, the town went completely ghost. Currently, there are some buildings that are still there, including a privately owned hotel. However, if you stay at this hotel, you might see some unwanted guests, aka the ghost. Alright y'all, that's it, and I'll be back to do more videos for you guys.
Would you go to any of those areas? Put it down in the comments. Me personally, hell no. Unless I was doing a vlog, of course. If I'm doing a vlog for YouTube, I'll go anywhere. Get it on cam, y'all gonna see crazy. So when I start vlogging, don't be surprised if you see me in crazy places like that.
Let's talk about a disturbing boss fight from the game Fear and Hunger. Traces of Grogoroth. Grogoroth is an old god in Fear and Hunger's lore. What you see here and what you fight in the game is a shell of its former self, which is why it's called Traces of Grogoroth. Speaking of which, in the game's lore, Grogoroth is the god of human sacrifice, and you can even ally yourself with him instead of fighting him by sacrificing party members throughout the game. And most of the glass cannon spells and blood magic in the game all came from this guy. If you choose to have Grogoroth as your final boss during your playthrough of the game, it's important to note that even though this is a weakened version of the boss lore-wise, he's still really strong. And one of my favorite things about the boss's visual design itself is it just seems like eyes are popping up out of nowhere and contorting the boss's features. It's really twisted.
Nah, that looks like a cool game. I never really played that, but I mean, maybe if I get back into gaming, I might play it. It looks kind of cool.
They went to explore an abandoned village. They would soon realize going there was a mistake. Goshan and Yasuke from the paranormal team The Clip Store went to explore a ghost town in Japan after receiving a call about a man who visited the village. The man believes he interacted with a strange elderly couple, even though the place has now been abandoned for over 10 years. As Yasuke explores one of the abandoned houses, it's not until they return home and look over the footage that they would realize they were never alone. What looks like a pale woman's head can be seen underneath it. Could this really be the spirit of a resident trapped in this village from whatever travesty occurred during the past? Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have went, honestly.
Here are my top do not watch movies because they were so disturbing that I wanted to stop watching. Number 1, Incident in Ghostland. A sweet movie about 2 daughters reuniting with their mom at a house where a really traumatic event happened. Get ready to get depressed and disappointed several times. This movie is gonna gaslight you a ton of times. Number 2, Skins. This movie went viral because of the girl that has her you-know-what in her mouth, but it's described as a movie with deformed characters who must deal with society shunning their appearance. Now, I do want to say that I loved the message, but it's not the characters themselves that disturb me, it's what happens to them. They're horribly mistreated, essayed, and abused. So I wanted to stop watching within the first 10 minutes. And if you watch it, you'll know why.
I mean, you said don't watch it, so I'm not watching it. Straight up, you said don't watch it, so why would I watch it?
You imagine you open your attic door and you find this terrifying doll. Pay close attention.
Bruh. Honestly, that would be scary as hell if that did not look like someone's Halloween costume. Anyways, if you like the video, please like the video. Your boy is pushing over 6K subs. Love y'all. Peace out.